We should understand that the income section is the high-stakes engine of your entire tax return. It is the technical foundation where every dollar you earned is transformed into a taxable figure. For example, missing a single interest payment from a small savings account can trigger an automated notice from the Internal Revenue Service. This section defines the starting line for your financial story and dictates your final tax bracket. Turning your raw earnings into organized data is the first step toward a successful filing. We should understand that these three forms are the technical building blocks of your income report. Let's start from Form W-2, which is the official record of your annual employment earnings and withheld taxes. For example, a teacher receives a W-2 showing their total salary and the federal tax already paid from their paychecks. Next, we must look at Form W-2G, which is specifically used to report gambling winnings to the government. This form is triggered when you win a payout that meets certain dollar thresholds at a casino or track. For example, if you win $1,500 on a slot machine, the casino issues this form to record the win. Finally, we should understand Form 1099-R, which tracks distributions from retirement accounts like pensions or individual retirement accounts. It details exactly how much money was withdrawn and what portion of that money is subject to tax. For example, a retiree taking $5,000 from their pension will use this form to report that income on their return. We should understand that the income section of Form 1040 is a detailed technical list containing 26 line items. Each line represents a specific type of financial inflow that the government needs to track. We should understand that line 1A is the primary entry point for your earned income. It captures the total wages, salaries and tips reported in box 1 of all your W-2 forms. For example, if you have two jobs and your W-2s show $30,000 and $20,000, you enter $50,000 on this line. This figure represents the gross pay that is subject to federal income tax. Let's start with line 1C, which is used to report tip income that you did not report to your employer. This is common in service industries where cash tips are received directly from customers. For example, if a restaurant server receives $500 in cash tips and does not record them through the payroll system, that amount belongs on this line. It is important to remember that all tips are taxable income, regardless of whether they appear on your W-2. By including these amounts here, you ensure your total earnings are fully disclosed to the government. This prevents discrepancies between your reported income and your actual bank deposits. Let's look at line 1D, which tracks specific payments received for caring for someone in your home under a state Medicaid program. These payments are often excluded from your gross income, but they must be reported here if they were not already listed on a W-2. For example, if you receive $4,000 for providing adult foster care in your residence, you would enter that figure on this line. Reporting these payments correctly allows you to include them in your earned income for certain tax credits while keeping them non-taxable. This ensures you receive the maximum benefit from programs like the Earned Income Tax Credit. It acts as a specialized placeholder for these unique caregiving funds. Consider line 1E as the checkpoint for employer-provided childcare perks that exceed tax-free limits. Most people can receive up to $5,000 in dependent care benefits from their employer without paying taxes on them. However, any amount over that limit becomes taxable and must be reported here. For example, if your employer provides $6,000 in daycare assistance, the extra $1,000 is considered taxable income and is entered on this line. This ensures you only get the tax break on the allowed amount while keeping the rest of your earnings transparent. It bridges the gap between your workplace benefits and your final taxable total. Let's focus on line 1F, which handles adoption assistance provided by your employer. While many adoption benefits are tax-free up to a certain limit, any amount that exceeds the IRS threshold must be reported as taxable income. For example, if your employer provides $20,000 in adoption assistance, but the legal limit is $17,280, you must report the extra $2,720 on this line. This ensures that you only receive the exclusion for the amount allowed by law. Using Form 88039 helps you calculate this exact figure by comparing your benefits against your income level. It acts as a filter to separate your tax-free benefits from your taxable wages. Line 1G acts as the definitive reporting mechanism for wages where an employer failed to withhold Social Security and Medicare taxes due to worker misclassification. To utilize this line, you must aggregate the totals from Form 8919, specifically line 6, which identifies income earned from a firm that treated the taxpayer as a contractor despite the legal realities of an employee-employer relationship. By reporting these earnings here, you trigger the application of the 7.5% FICA tax rate rather than the 15.3% self-employment tax, effectively shifting the unpaid employer portion of the tax liability back to the hiring entity. This entry is critical for ensuring that the taxpayer's earnings are properly credited to their Social Security Administration record without incurring unnecessary financial penalties. For practitioners, Line 1G is a vital tool for audit protection and tax liability optimization when contesting 1099 NEC issuances that should have been W-2 wages. Consider Line 1H, which acts as a catch-all for various types of compensation that do not fit into the standard wage categories. This is where you report earnings that are still considered earned income but were not issued on a traditional W-2 form. For example, if you are a member of the clergy and receive a housing allowance, or if you receive strike benefits from a union, those amounts are entered here. You must write the specific type of income and the dollar amount in the space provided. This ensures that unique forms of pay are still factored into your earned income credit eligibility. It provides a transparent way to document professional earnings from non-traditional sources. Let's dive into Line 1I, which is a strategic tool for military members serving in combat zones. While combat pay is generally not taxable, this line allows you to elect to count that pay as earned income to potentially boost your tax credits. For example, if a soldier earned $5,000 in non-taxable combat pay, entering it here might qualify them for a much larger earned income credit. You can find this amount on your W-2 in box 12 with code Q. It gives you the flexibility to choose the tax treatment that results in the biggest refund. Think of Line 1Z as the mathematical summary of your entire earned income profile. This line requires you to add the values from 1A through 1H to reach a single total for this section. Let's examine Line 2A, which tracks interest income that is legally excluded from federal taxes. This typically includes interest earned from municipal bonds issued by state or local governments. For example, if you earned $500 from a City of Lahore municipal bond, that amount is entered here to inform the government of your total cash flow without adding to your tax bill. Next, we look at Line 2B, which captures all the interest you earned that is subject to federal income tax. This includes money earned from traditional savings accounts, certificates of deposit, or corporate bonds. For example, if your bank sends you a Form 1099 INDT showing $10 in interest from your savings account, you must report that amount on this line. While the money on Line 2A stays in your pocket, the money on Line 2B is added to your total income. Reporting both accurately ensures the government sees your full financial picture while protecting your tax-free earnings. These lines turn your passive savings growth into a formal part of your annual tax story. Let's focus on Line 3B, which is the starting point for reporting your share of corporate profits, known as ordinary dividends. These are payouts from stocks or mutual funds that are generally taxed at your regular income tax rate. For example, if you own shares and they send you a Form 1099 DIV showing $100 in box 1A, you enter that total on this line. Now consider Line 3A, which identifies the portion of those dividends that qualify for lower tax rates. These are called qualified dividends because they meet specific IRS holding period requirements. For example, if $80 of your $100 dividend is marked as qualified in box 1B of your tax form, you list $80 on Line 3A. While the full amount on Line 3B is included in your total income, the amount on Line 3A tells the system to apply a cheaper tax rate to that specific portion. This simple distinction can save you a significant amount of money on your final tax bill. It ensures your investments are taxed fairly based on how long you have held them. Consider Line 3C, which is a specific checkbox used when you choose to report your child's interest and dividend income on your own tax return. Instead of the child filing a separate return, you can use Form 8814 to fold their earnings into yours, provided they are under age 19 or a full-time student under 24. For For example, if your 10-year-old daughter earned $1,500 in dividends from a trust and you include it on your return, you must check the boxes for line 3A and 3B. This alerts the government that the totals on those lines include money belonging to a dependent. Using this option can simplify your family's paperwork, but it may also push you into a higher tax bracket. It acts as a formal declaration that you are taking responsibility for the tax liability of your child's investments. Following this step ensures the Internal Revenue Service connects the child's income to your Social Security number correctly. We've now covered the first 13 line items of the Form 1040 income section. That's exactly halfway. In the next video, we'll tackle the remaining 13 items to complete the full picture. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to stay updated.